Hello and welcome to the Manufacturing Connector, your gateway to the future of manufacturing. Our mission is to empower manufacturers with insights into the latest innovations transforming the industry. Be sure to visit the mfgconnector.com for more content and resources. Follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And there you'll find some exclusive updates and some behind the scenes content. I'm your host, Jim Mayer, and today we're joined by Clare Epstein, General Manager Commercial at Vector Solutions. Clare brings over 20 years of leadership experience in safety training and technology solutions. In this episode, we'll dive into how Vector Solutions helps manufacturers across various industries streamline safety, compliance, and workforce management. Clare will walk us through the tools and strategies manufacturers can use to drive better outcomes, improve operational readiness, and ensure their workforce is trained and prepared for the challenges of today and tomorrow. So let's explore how Vector Solutions is helping manufacturers enhance their safety protocols and optimize their workforce right here on the Manufacturing Connector. Hello, Clare Epstein. Welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Thank you, Jim, for inviting me. I'm doing great today. I'm super excited to talk about this topic. I have spent a lot of time dealing with safety, training, technology, and data issues, and I'm super excited to dive in and help, hopefully help your viewers and listeners figure out how to be safer, smarter, and better, which
I
is
love that.
actually Vector's mission. So.
I do want to hear a little bit about your background. How did you get through your career to where you are right now?
All right. So I studied, when I went to college, I studied something called urban studies. I went to school in Philadelphia. And when I graduated college, I decided I wanted to work to make Philadelphia a better place. And I decided I wanted to do that by working on the public transit system in Philadelphia, which for those of us from Philly, is called SEPTA. Then I spent a few months working at New York City Transit, which runs the subways and trains and buses for New York City. And then I decided to move back to Philly, and I went back to the company where I was doing the transportation consulting. And a couple of things happened. We were doing a lot of transportation consulting, focusing again on safety. And just to date myself, it was also around the time of the dot-com boom.
Oh,
And
wow.
so we
Okay.
said, everyone's building software. We're going to build software. So we decided that we're going to build software focused on safety because that's what our customers were doing. And we were going to gear it specifically to our public transportation customers who had a lot of safety data and regulations that they needed to manage. And then I came over to Vector in an acquisition.
Tell us a little bit more background on Vector itself. How did it come to be?
Yeah, so Vector is a company that has grown through acquisitions. Its original founding was a company called Red Vector, based in Tampa, Florida. And that's still where Vector is headquartered. In terms of the industrial manufacturing space, which is what we're looking at, Vector purchased a company that many folks still might know as Convergence Training. So Convergence created a huge amount of safety training and really industrial skills training, which is a big piece of what's in our training portfolio. And then it acquired, as I mentioned, the Vector EHS acquisition. And so we do have some other acquisitions, but Vector's focus as it's gone about and built the company and it's grown the company has been on, courses that fill compliance need, that make our customers, again, safer, smarter, better, and have focused on different segments.
Wow, that's neat. So I look at safety training as that third leg to the stool, right?
Yes.
You've got soft skills, hard skills, and safety as far as a career development plan or continuous learning type program that is set up. As far as defined trainings, how can we as an industry build that safety culture internally a little bit better using a solution like Vector?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And I love the way that you talked about the three-legged stool because that's also how I think about it. You've got your safety, you've got your hard industrial skills, and then you've got your soft skills.
Yeah.
And Vector has courses in each of those buckets, and we refresh and update and provide each of those buckets. So one of the things that we've done, we do this with our smaller clients, and we do it with our larger customers, is that we're really focused on the concept of a learning, which is also tied to career development. Because one
Yeah.
of the issues is that, like, you could have, we have 3,000 courses in our library. No one's going to take all 3,000 courses, right? And the goal is that each individual is taking the training that's relevant to them, that is either required for them to do their job, that helps them grow in their job, and then also helps retain them, right? Because manufacturing still has both a skills gap problem and a retention problem. And
Yep.
so what we've done is, per job title, we have designed a learning path that tells you, okay, I am an operations manager,
Mm.
or I'm a frontline operations worker. Here are the categories and here are the courses that I should take. And so instead of going to 3,000 courses, you're down to, maybe 20 to 40 courses.
Wow.
And then there are also levels. I can start as an operator 1, and then I can go to an operator 2, and I can start as a maintenance tech 1 and a maintenance tech 2. So you're building that career progression. So we actually build those learning paths into our software, into our learning management system, and we have the courses that match the learning paths. And so you can actually, day one, your learning paths will be built. Now, most organizations do end up configuring those learning paths. Nothing is cookie cutter. So they take that as a base, and then they'll say, okay, well, we don't need these classes, or we want these classes instead, and we'll help you with that. So that's how we're getting to that issue of, how do we get the right training to the right people in the right time when they're ready for it. That's one of the ways we're getting.
Talk about some of these success stories, case studies that you may have out there.
What I'm going to do is talk just a little bit about some of the characteristics that we find that make a customer successful with Vector solutions, and where they really, get the benefit from it. So a lot of it, sadly, you do have to put in work on the customer side. You have to be committed to creating a safe culture. You have to be committed to spending time assigning courses out from our system, making sure people take those courses. And the same thing with our safety tool, Vector EHS. The software and the courses is as important and as valuable as it is, and I'm so happy to be working on it. The customer has to do some of that work. They have to, cheerlead the system. They have to make sure that their employees are taking the courses and are getting value from the courses. And same thing with the EHS system, when you're putting in, a lot of times our most common module there is incident data. So you have to put in the incident data, and then you have to look at the data and sort of make things better. And so they're just tools to help you do that. And so the cases where you get the most success and it's been the most effective is where you have someone that's really a credit to the customer, where the customer is going out and they're putting effort in on their side, and they're cheerleading people to use the system. And then once that happens, and the employees see the value of it, then that's where you get success.
Awesome. So does your system, your software, interface with HRIS systems like a Paychex or an ADP or something like that? So you can pull that data right into that HRIS for reporting purposes, for performance management conversation.
We do that all the time, especially, again, once you're talking about larger customers. We take that data. It can be an automatic feed. It often is. So as your workforce is changing, then you're updating the system, and so that those employees are in there. But regardless of whether you're using our LMS or our EHS tool, someone still needs to assign the courses to the employees. The employees will get a note or an email or verbally told, but then they still, and again, whether it's on their mobile device or whether they're using single sign-on, I mean, you can make it, we do all these tricks to make it as easy as possible for the employee to log in and engage with the content. And we try to make the content as engaging as possible. But at the end of the day, the employee still has to to take that course, right? There's a lot of those are all the components that lead to a successful implementation and case study.
I love it. I love it. Claire, I want to see this in action. I know you have some demo videos or something along those lines. Can you share those, play those for us?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to share a couple that are designed specifically for the industrial manufacturing space. We have a wide range of content, but I thought these would be best. These are our case study format, which are meant to be a little bit more engaging and emotionally resonant. They're also, a little bit more, the one's a bit sad. So just a
Oh no,
notification
sad?
there. Well, yeah, because it's a safety one where someone was crushed
Okay.
by a conveyor belt. So so yes, that's sad for sure.
Yes.
But we can start with the machine guarding one
Okay.
first, and then we'll move on to the crushed by a
Let's work
conveyor
into
belt.
that one. Let's work into
Okay.
that one.
All right.
Hey, Roberto, sorry, I'm on. Oh, hey, Carl, why are you calling from Roberto's? Oh my God. Yeah, I'm on my way.
We'll have more on that story later in the hour. Officials are investigating a workplace incident that took the life of an employee Tuesday morning at VSL Paper Mill. Sources familiar with the investigation say the fatality occurred during operating hours when the
All right, everybody holding up okay? Yeah. Well, I don't know about you, but I haven't gotten any sleep since everything. But we got to get a solid review of everything, okay? Tina, you want to?
Yeah. So I know we still want to get some statements from everybody who was there so that we can, get a better picture of what happened to Roberto. So looks like there was a sheet break in the press section where the sheet passes through one of the press nips. Roberto raised the top roll and went into the access roll area, which was unguarded, and started feeling the felt to see if there was any damage that caused the break. So nobody was there to see it, but it looks like he was standing right in front of the operating press nip point. So about 6 feet above that access walkway. And while he was feeling the felt screen, his hands got caught between the top and bottom rollers. And Kara, that's when you saw him?
Yeah, I heard someone yelling, so I pulled the lever on the control panel to raise the top roll and saw him fall. I ran over. There was blood everywhere. His right arm was almost completely separated from his shoulder. I took off my jacket, to try and stop the bleeding, but...
Okay. Did he say anything?
Yeah, he just said, "I'm hurt bad," then went unconscious. I called the nurse, then EMS came and tried CPR, but...
Okay, got it. Thanks, Kara.
So Tina and I met with the rest of the safety team, and they've got a couple of recommendations for us, going forward. First, we have to make sure that access to hazardous areas of machinery is guarded, okay? And we need to install permanent interlocked gates to protect everyone from hazardous areas.
Yeah, we'll have to review and update our current safety programs, do regular work site inspections as well. Oh, and hang warning signs around hazardous areas.
Yeah, and we should conduct evaluations at other plants too. And listen, okay? You can't modify machine safeguards without permission from the equipment manufacturer.
Hey, you want to see me? Sorry, I'm still trying to find my way around here.
Yeah, it'll take a while to get used to where everything is. You'll figure it out. Hey, listen, real quick. I wanted to talk to you about being late a couple of times last week. I know you're still new, technically, but you really got to show up to work on time, man.
Yeah.
You got to fix everyone.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, I'm only saying this as a supervisor, right? I mean, it's just a reminder.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I'll be better about it. I owe you a lot already.
Nah, don't worry about it.
No, seriously. I can't thank you enough to help me out with this job. And I mean, with everything that happened last year.
Look, I just wanted to make sure that we talked about it, all right? Still on for drinks next Friday?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
All right, cool.
All right, so let's open this up. Anyone got any ideas how to get this started? Yeah, Danny.
That was very solemn.
Yeah, I think the next one is as solemn.
That's a powerful training video. It grabs at such an emotional level, right? And I can imagine that people watching that are then putting themselves in the shoes of the operators or the supervisors. And the goal at the end of the day is to make it home to your family,
Yep.
right? And so
Yep.
it changes the conversation a little bit, just the way that you guys put that out there. It's very
and that
powerful
was
video.
it was very powerful. We have great people working on it, and that was the intent. Is that, and not every course at Vector is like that. Is that we have you couldn't do anything except be very sad. But the goal was that we put together these what we call emotionally resonant case studies that hopefully work at changing behavior, and that our safety is more, our training and the time spent is more effective on it. Because at the end of the day, we all want the same thing, which is for everyone to leave their shift alive.
Yeah.
So I think that video does a really good job of doing that.
All right, let's see the next one.
Okay, let's go.
After 1 week of investigation, Colorado Department of Labor has confirmed an employee at a local building materials recycling plant was killed on the job while fixing a conveyor belt. An OSHA compliance officer reports that the victim's arm became entangled in the machine. He was found unresponsive under the machine by a coworker and was later pronounced dead of an apparent heart attack.
Devastated doesn't even begin to describe it. Paul was a friend. It's worse because I was here when it happened. I think about ways that I could have changed things. But his family, that's what's hard to stop thinking about.
We just had our 5th year anniversary the month before. Never thought I'd have to make funeral arrangements 2 weeks later. Paul left for work that day, same as any other. We had coffee while I did a bit of work. He got ready. We said our goodbyes.
Okay. All right.
Our last goodbyes.
What time are you going on?
And then he was off.
I should get off around 6, but... Okay.
I should have just told him to call in sick that day.
He operated a power screening machine. It's like a giant sorter for building materials. It was mobile and was built on a tractor-trailer chassis that could be towed out of the building for repair. So when Paul started his morning inspection, he found that one of the belts was slipping off the rollers. This was a fairly common occurrence and one that Paul's taken care of before, so I asked him to clear it, start it back up, and then call for me so I could check it. That was the last time I heard from him. It looked like Paul had climbed into the machine through a narrow, unguarded opening in the truck chassis and was using a pipe to clean a roller on the faulty 60-inch wide conveyor. It's possible his arm was caught in the moving conveyor while crawling into the machine or while trying to clean the roller under the
supervisor and working on the conveyor while in an operating status. This demonstrated a lack of understanding and training to safely work with this machine. Be sure your company has provided you with a written safety program that includes training in the safe operation of any machines you're responsible to operate before you use or maintain the equipment. Training should include standard operating procedures and safety practices for each piece of equipment. You should expect to receive periodic retraining and supervision to ensure you know how to operate the machine and are knowledgeable in your company's safety procedures. And remember, if you don't feel you've received the right training, PPE, tools, or equipment to do the job safely, don't risk it.
Well, that one, I mean, it was very sad. Little less of the emotional, but a lot more of the logical side of my brain was
Yes.
engaged in that one. Does that
Yeah.
make sense at all, Claire?
Yeah. No, I was thinking I agree 100%.
I mean, it started off with that.
Yeah, they're both effective. They're trying to get, your frontline employees, and your supervisors and managers and safety professionals to the same point. So,
Claire, one thing while we were watching those videos that I thought of is onboarding processes and how important onboarding or safety is to the onboarding process, and how a lot of times, at least in those small to medium-sized machine shops manufacturers, it's literally just a Word document that people sign off on, right? And I think that with Vector Solutions, that can be a much more robust onboarding safety training type program. Am I?
100%, and at a rate that's very affordable. We're not, especially if you're a small company, we're not talking about spending gazillions of dollars to offer this kind of content to your workers. And if you look at, you watch these videos and you look at the emotional cost and the financial cost of having one of these incidents occurs, it's really a no-brainer to offer and provide some sort of, training, hopefully from Vector, but that really, again, allows employees to be safe and leave their shift alive.
Yeah.
The other point, to go back to the onboarding, we haven't really talked about, but one of the things that Vector offers that's very popular with our industrial manufacturing customers is something we call our tool competency assessment. When you buy training content from Vector, you get the courses, you get the learning management system that helps you run the courses, and then you have some tools built into that learning management system. And one of those tools is our competency assessment feature. Every time you take a course at Vector, or you have the option, is that we just saw a case study, so it's not here, but in most of the courses, you have a pre-test and a post-test that's making sure you retain the material. And all of those questions form the Vector question bank. And so with our competency assessment tool, you can actually provide assessments to your workers before they start, based on the questions in the courses, and then based on their responses, what courses you need to assign to them. So you're, again, tailoring the training based on the specific skills and needs and knowledge of the individual. Now, it doesn't work for safety training. That's a little different because a lot of that training is required. But if you're talking about some of your industrial skills training, you can then assess who, doesn't have a basic knowledge of electricity, for example. And then if they do, then they don't need to take those courses. So that competency assessments tool that we rolled out has been very very useful to our customers, because it's been very popular. It's helped our customers really make sure they're training their things in the right way. And I think we actually did a webinar, and I can find the link, with one of our customers, Shaw Industries. Now I'm thinking of a happy customer. who has used it very effectively and is very excited about that.
That's great. Fantastic. Yeah, definitely send that over and I can link that as well.
Okay.
And if it's on YouTube, I can just make it one of the videos that
Yeah.
this plays
Okay. Let me
directly into.
find that out.
Yeah, perfect. So Claire, how can the viewers find you? How can they get a hold of you? I'll have, vectors, I think it's vectorsolutions.com
Correct.
linked in the show notes, but how can they
Yes.
get a hold of you or somebody else if they have any questions or want to talk more about Vector?
Yeah. So the easiest way is to go to the vectorsolutions.com website, and you will see a contact us or request a demo. Is to fill that out, and someone will respond to you, trying to figure out what you're looking for and what you need and have an intelligent conversation. There are people at Vector who understand all those courses in the industrial catalog that I mentioned. And then if anyone just wants to reach out to me personally to discuss any of these issues in terms of industrial manufacturing and safety and data, I'm available on LinkedIn. There aren't a ton of Clare Epstein, so I think if you do a search for Clare Epstein and if you do a search for Clare Epstein and Vector Solutions, I will show. So
Perfect.
That's definitely the easiest way to get in touch.
Perfect. Claire, last question. What didn't I ask you that you want to share with the audience today?
Yeah, one of the things we didn't talk about, but I think that sort of started this whole journey, is that Vector Solutions did a study in April on the state of industrial safety and well-being. And copies of that survey are certainly available both on our website. And again, that's something you can share with the audience. And what we did is we really wanted to understand what were the questions or what were workers in the industrial space dealing with. And we surveyed we did about, I want to say it was over 400 workers from all 50 states. They all worked in the sort of, industrial sector, almost all 50 states. And they all had different, job titles. So some were frontline workers, some were, there were a couple of safety professionals, et cetera. And one of the questions that we asked is, what are the most important factors for working for these workers? And number one was pay, which makes sense, but number two was safety. So safety really, really resonates with the workforce. And then one of the other, there's really a lot of good stats that came out of the survey, just in terms of what organizations can be doing better to improve the safety of their working. But I'm just looking for the one, I think it's my favorite one I wanted to mention, which is 100% of survey respondents. So think about it, 100%. When's the last time you did a survey that 100% said it with this? That 100% say that safety training is essential for fostering a safe workplace.
Wow.
So I just want to, when we did the survey, it was like getting the results back were amazing. But I think for me, and the results were interesting, and there's lots of great stuff in there. But for me, the piece that resonated is that emotional thing, that what we're doing at Vector, that we are trying to make our customers safer, smarter, and better, really resonates. And what we're doing is important. And the videos that we show today show it, but safety training is important, and it's important to the workforce.
I love it. And a little birdie in the producer's studio told me it was 600 respondents or 600.
Yes.
Yeah. So didn't mean to correct you on your own survey results. But
I think it's great because I cannot remember everything. And the study came out in April, and now it is August.
Yes, it's not even August, Claire. It's
September. Right.
September.
I don't remember what month it is, so I'm not going to remember how many respondents we had.
That made my day. Thank you so much for that. And Claire, thank you very much for being on today. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for walking me and the viewers through this solution. I was a big fan before you and I connected to be on the show, just with what Vector was able to do for my team personally and providing that safety training that was more engaging than any other solution that I had found out there. And the company that I was with, the HR person was very happy. Vector is a great program, a great solution. And thank you folks for joining us today on the Manufacturing Connector. We hope, and we as in Claire and I, we hope today's episode gave you valuable insights into how Vector Solutions is empowering manufacturers with the intelligent software tools for training management, safety, compliance, and operational readiness. Again, a huge thanks to Clare Epstein for sharing how Vector is helping manufacturers tackle key challenges across their operations. If you'd like to learn more or schedule a demo with Vector Solutions, just go to their website, click that schedule a demo button. It's really simple to do. And while you're on the interwebs, don't forget to visit themfgconnector.com for more content and resources about the latest innovations in manufacturing. Be sure to follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok for exclusive updates and behind-the-scenes content. And if you enjoyed this episode, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon to get notified whenever we release a new video. I'd also love to hear your thoughts and questions in the comments below. What challenges are you facing in your workforce management, your safety management, your operational readiness? And what topics would you like us to cover in future episodes? Folks, remember at the MFG Connector, the Manufacturing Connector, we're here to empower you with the latest innovations and solutions in the industry. Join us next time as we continue to explore the future of manufacturing one solution at a time. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode.